Hello everyone. Good morning to all of you. Once again, welcome to 10th standard second language English. Dear students, so yesterday's video class we have discussed, that means we had started a new lesson, Gentleman of Rio and Medio. So in part 1 we have discussed 3 paragraphs, right? Am I correct, my children? Yes. Okay, let's today continue the lesson. Are you ready with your pen and paper? Okay, brilliant. Before going to start today's remaining part of the lesson, let's recall what we have discussed yesterday. Okay, let's have a look about yesterday's lesson simply, right? So, it is a lesson, Gentleman of Rio and Medio, written by Juan A. Sedilo. So as we discussed yesterday, okay. This author is the author of the lesson, right? Is going to narrating or is sharing his experience, right? What experience? As we know that our author is himself as a lawyer. Himself he was working as a lawyer, right? As a lawyer he handled so many cases. So in this lesson, right, our author, that means the storyteller, the author himself is narrating the story, right? So you may call him as a storyteller, right? He is sharing one of his legal case, real incident, right? Real life incident. What he real life incident, legal case, what he handled. Okay, got it? Right. He is talking about the gentleman. The title is like this: Gentleman, Rio and Medio. He was a gentleman. So yesterday we discussed whom do we call gentleman? Yes, of course, a gentleman is a man, is a person who is having a politeness, softness, right? Who is very polite, soft, good nature and good manners. Yes, this is very important. The person who is having good manners, we can call him as a gentleman, right? So this gentleman, where he is living? Where he was living? He was living in a place called Rio and Medio. Where is Rio and Medio? In Mexico, in the United States, right? In which country? In United States, New Mexico. It's a small village, Rio and Medio. There, in the mountains, up in the mountains, this person, gentleman, lives. Right? He lived up in the mountains in Rio and Medio. So, in the first paragraphs, we came to know that about his land and house. Okay, his land and house. We came to know about these two things. How was his land? What about his land? He was tilling the land which his ancestors tilled. ಇವನ ಅಜ್ಜ ಮುತ್ತಾತ ಪೂರ್ವಜರು, ancestors means ಪೂರ್ವಿಕರು, ಅವರು ಏನು ಉಳುಮೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದ್ರು ಅದೇ ಭೂಮಿಯನ್ನ ಇವನು ಕೂಡ ಉಳುಮೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. He is tilling the same land which his ancestors tilled. The till means yes, flow. And there is a small stream or there is a small river goes across his land. What do we say? A little creek. Creek means a small river or a stream that ran through his land, go across his land. So in his land there is a small river also, right? And what about house? A house. What kind of house? So yesterday we came across so many adjective words which describes his house, right? What are those? Yes, small, wretched and quaint, right? How was his house? It was a house It was built in a very old-fashioned way, right? Old. What do we say? What is quaint mean here? Quaint, unusual and attractive in a old-fashioned way. It was a house which was built in an old-fashioned way. Even though outwardly it looks unpleasant, but it is attractive in a old-fashioned way. It is small, quaint, and rich. So this was about his land and house in the first paragraph. Then we came to know in the second paragraph, the day of the sale he came into the office room. Right? Whose office room is referred here, children? Yes, our author's. Our author is a lawyer, himself was a lawyer. He came to the lawyer's office. There is something is going on. Later we will come to know what it is. Right? When he came to the office, the author gave the description of the appearance of the old man. Okay. So first of all, he talked about his coat. What did the old man wear? The old man wore coat. How was that coat? The coat was old. It was green in color, and it is faded. Faded means shaded. It lost its color already. As it was old, it loses its quality, color also. That is why it is called faded. Have you understood, children? Right. This was about his coat, and it was long double-breasted coat. Like one of his Prince Albert's, as the author says, long coat. Right. Next, he wore gloves also. He wore gloves for his hands, both the hands. Right. His fingers are covered with gloves. How are those gloves? Right. See, gloves. How are those gloves? They were torn. They were torn, and with that, his fingertips were shown. We can see the fingertips of the old man. Right? They were old and torn. Fingertips were showed through them. Next, about a cane. He's also using a stick, right? Walking stick. What he was using as a walking stick? Yes. Yesterday we came to know that he was using a cane, right, of worn out umbrella, right? ಛತ್ರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮಧ್ಯ ಒಂದು ಕಡ್ಡಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಉದ್ದೊಂದು, right? It looks like a walking stick, right? So that one he was using as a stick, worn out. ಆ ಕಿತ್ತೋಗಿರೋ ಹಾಳಾಗಿರುವ ಛತ್ರಿಯ ಆ ಕಡ್ಡಿಯನ್ನು ಬಳಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ ವಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ. The picture you may see in the text. Okay, look at his appearance. In the page number 47, it was given there how the old man looks. He wore gloves for his fingers, and he had a hat, right? And he has a little beard, and he has a cane of worn out umbrella. What was his cane? The skeleton of the worn out umbrella. Skeleton of the damaged umbrella. This was about his appearance of the old man. Behind him, behind this person, there is an young dark man is also there. ಇವರ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇವರ ಹಿಂದೆ ಒಬ್ಬ ಕರ್ರನೆಯ ಒಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದ. who is having eyes like a gazelle. ಅವನ ಜಿಂಕೆಯ ಸಣ್ಣ ಹರಿಣ ಅಂತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಜಿಂಕೆ ಅಂತ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕಣ್ಣುಗಳುಳ್ಳ ಕಪ್ಪನೆಯ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಈ ಮುದುಕನ ಹಿಂದೆ ಒಬ್ಬ ಬಂದಿದ್ದ. Right? So, why did he come to office? Why did the old man come to office? Yes, we have to know here. On the day of the sale, right? On the negotiation day. In the first paragraph, we came to know that it took months of negotiation. Negotiation means official meeting, right? So he had come to the office to attend the official meeting, right? For negotiation, he came here. On the day of the sale, when he came into the office, what did the old man do? how did he greeted all the members who were waiting for him in the office? He bowed. He bowed to all who were waiting him in the office room. Why did he bow? Yes, to show respect. In view of respect, ಗೌರವಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಬಾಗಿದ. It is a sign, it is an indication, it is a sign of showing respect in that country. So as we are Indians, we are showing respect by making namaste, right? It is a way of respecting. So in their country, they had to bow in respecting others. And in this way, he bowed to all the people who were waiting for him. Then he removed his gloves, hat, slowly and carefully. As they are already old and tall, he removed slowly. While removing those gloves, the author thought of Charlie Chaplin, right? ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಯಾರು ನೆನಪಾಗ್ತಾರೆ? ಆ ಲೇಖಕರಿಗೆ ಚಾರ್ಲಿ ಚಾಪ್ಲಿನ್, who has acted as a janitor in a bank in a picture. Charlie Chaplin acted as a janitor in a bank. While acting as a janitor, he did the same thing what this old man did, right? Let's continue the lesson, Gentlemen of Rio and Medio, from the paragraph number 4, right? Let's see what happens. So now the old man came into the office. Whose office it is, my dear children? Yes, our author's office. Now he respected everyone and they seated. Now what's going on? There was a great deal of conversation about Ryan and his family. He was very proud of his large family. Finally, we got down to business. Yes, he would sell, as he had agreed, for $1,200 in cash. We would buy and the money was ready. Don Anselmo, I said to him in Spanish, we have made a discovery. You remember that we sent that surveyor, that engineer up there to survey your land so as to make the deed. Well, he finds that you own more than 8 acres. He tells us that your land extends across the river and that you own almost twice as much as you thought. He didn't know that. And now Don Anselmo, I added, these Americans are buona gente. They are good people and they are willing to pay you for the additional land as well as at the same rate per acre. So that instead of $1,200, you will get almost twice as much and the money is here for you. This is the thing happened in the 4th paragraph. Okay, the old man came and our author is also ready and another characters were also there in the office. Who? Yes, Americans. Who are Americans? They are the buyers. ಕೊಳ್ಳುವವರು. This old man came to sell. ಈ ಅಜ್ಜ ಬಂದಿರೋದೇನಕ್ಕೆ? ಮಾರಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. ಮಾರೋರು ಇದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಕೊಳ್ಳೋರು ಒಬ್ರು ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? Right? Buyers should there. So who are the buyers there? The Americans were the buyers. Between these, that means between the old man, right? I am going to write here. Between old man and Americans. Right? Who is the mediator here? Who is the mediator? Who is working as a mediator here? Author. Or we call him as storyteller. He is narrating the story. Or author. He is a mediator. Right? ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಒಬ್ಬರು ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ ಮಧ್ಯಸ್ಥಿವರಿಸುವ ವ್ಯವಹಾರವನ್ನು ಕುದುರಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. So our lawyer, our author is working as a mediator in this selling property. There was all of them seated in the office of our lawyer, who is our author of the lesson. There was a great deal of conversation about Ryan and his family. So at first, what we usually do, we should feel comfortable while talking with others. First of all, we are going used to say, "Hey, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಡೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಳೆ ಬೆಳೆ ಹೇಗಾಗ್ತಿದೆ?" Like this. In the same way, here the people who start make themselves comfortable, right? About Ryan and their family. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಮಳೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? Like this. Why they start like this? To feel comfortable. Why? To start the discussion. Okay. Before official discussion, what they talk about? They talk about Ryan and his family. He was very proud of his large family. See, who is very proud of his large family? Yes, this old man lives in Rio and Medio for so many years, and he had so many relatives in that place. As he was very old, he has a large family, innumerable kin. One of the kin was an assistant, working as an assistant. So proud of his large family. ತನಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಹೆಮ್ಮೆ ಇದೆ ಆತನಿಗೆ ತನ್ನ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕುಟುಂಬದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ. Finally, we got down to business. So after talking about Ryan and family, they came to the point about business. ವ್ಯವಹಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. Yes, he would sell as he had agreed. Who had agreed? Yes, he sell, right? He would sell as he had agreed. ಅವರು ಒಪ್ಪಿದಂತೆ ಅವರು ಮಾರಿದ್ದಾರೆ, right? As he has agreed for $1,200. $1,200, right, my children? For how much cost did the old man sell his property? For $1,200. $1,200 in cash. We would buy. ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಕೊಂಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. We would buy. Who were addressing these people? The people were addressing the old man, but these words were said by the Americans. In cash, we would buy, and the money was ready. ಹಣ ರೆಡಿ ಇದೆ. ನಾವು ಕೊಂಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಹಣ ರೆಡಿ ಇದೆ. They are ready. They bring the money, $1,200. Don Anselmo, I said to him in Spanish. I here refers to author. I, right? Whenever we got I, it is referring our author, who is the storyteller, who is narrating the story. Well, I said to him. Him here refers to Don Anselmo. I am in Spanish. It's Rio and Medio language, right? The people here, they spoke Spanish. The author is telling Don Anselmo in Spanish. We have made a discovery. Hello, Don Anselmo. We here refers to the author and combining it the Americans, right? As they are buyers. We have made a discovery. You remember that we sent that surveyor and that surveyor who was an engineer in making a survey, right? He was very expert in making land survey, right? Who sent the surveyor? The Americans, right? They made a survey. Before going to buy any land, we should do the same thing. We should survey the land. How much it is. Suppose if you want to buy a 30-40 site, first of all we have to confirming that must be 30 and 40. ಅದು 30-40 ಅಳತೆ ಇದೆಯಾ? How you are going? So by calling any surveyor, we can assess it, right? In the same way, these buyers send a surveyor up there to survey your land, so to make the deed. Yes, deed means, deed here refers to agreement. Agreement. What is a deed agreement? So it's a agreement. It's a sheet of paper, right? We call it as a bond, right? Bond. What is in the bond? Conditions are written on a sheet of paper, right? Conditions. Some conditions are written on a sheet of paper, that is called bond or deed. Well, he finds that you own more than 8 acres. Hello, Don Anselmo. We appointed one surveyor and he surveyed your land. He surveyed your land, and according to him, there is a surprising thing for you. You are going to sell 8 acres of land, right? But when you surveyed your land, the surveyor says you owns more than that one. ಅವರೇ ನೀವೇನು 8 ಎಕರೆ ಮಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಹೊರಟಿದ್ರಿ, ಅದನ್ನ ಅಳತೆ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೊರಟಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ಸರ್ವೆ ಅವರಿಂದ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿರೋ ವಿಷಯ ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಯು ಓನ್ಸ್ ಮೋರ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ ದಾಟ್, ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತಲೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಭೂಮಿ ಇದೆ ನಿಮ್ಮದು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿದೆ. He tells us that your land extends across the river, ಈ ನದಿಯ ಉದ್ದಕ್ಕೂ ಇನ್ನೂ ಇದೆ, and that he owns almost twice. Right? Hello, Don Anselmo. According to surveyor, you owns more than double, twice. First you are going to sell 8 acres, you know. So after survey, we came to know that your land is double in twice. That means 16 acres you have. In this way, he is saying twice as much as you thought. He didn't know that. But the pity is, the old man, he refers to the old man, he doesn't know that. Right? The old man doesn't know that much of land is mine. And now Don Anselmo, I added. Who added? Author added. Author is continuing his words. These Americans are buena gente. Buena gente, it's a Spanish word. What do you mean by? Buena gente means good people. These Americans are good people, and they are willing to pay you for the additional land as well at the same rate per acre as that. Instead of $1,200, you will get almost twice as much, and the money is here for you. Right? The author added. So as a mediator, he is doing his job. Right? After survey, they came to know that the land is double. That means nearby 16 acres. First of all, they are ready to buy only 8 acres, as said by Don Anselmo. But after making survey, they came to know that almost it is twice. It is in double. Now, what the author is telling Don Anselmo that these Americans are very good people, my dear Anselmo, and your land is extended. Right? Now we came to know that it is in double. These Americans are ready to pay, right? Ready to pay for the additional land. What the surveyor did, what the surveyor can bring into notice, another 8 acres is also belongs to Mr. Don Anselmo. For that 8 acres, these Americans are ready to pay the additional amount for the additional land as per the rate was fixed in the first session for 8 acres. ಮೊದಲ 8 ಎಕರೆಗೆ ನಿಗದಿಯಾದ ಹಣದಂತೆ ಉಳಿದ ಭೂಮಿಗೂ ಅವರು ಕೊಡಲು ಸಿದ್ಧರಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So what was fixed? First, it was fixed that for 8 acres, they are ready to pay $1,200. Right? You know. In the same way, as per the rate, what fixed in the beginning in first, and at the same rate, these Americans are ready to pay for the additional land. ಮೊದಲು ಕೊಂಡುಕೊಂಡ ರೇಟಿಗೆನೆ ಈಗ ಉಳಿದಿರುವ ಭೂಮಿಗೆ ಏನು ಹೆಚ್ಚುವರಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ಕೂಡ ಅದೇ ಮೊಬಲಗನ್ನು ಅದೇ ಮೊತ್ತವನ್ನು ಕೊಂಡುಕೊಳ್ಳಲು ತಯಾರಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ದೇ ಆರ್ ರೆಡಿ ಟು ಪೇ, willing to pay for the additional land at the same rate per acre as discussed earlier, so that instead of $1,200, hello my dear Don Anselmo, instead of $1,200 you will get almost twice. That means you are going to get $2,400. That means double, twice. Instead of $1,200 you will get almost twice as much, and the money is here for you, the author said, and the money is here for you, Mr. Don Anselmo. ಅವರು ಕೊಂಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ರೆಡಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ರಿಸೀವ್ ಇಟ್. ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ದ ಆಥರ್ said to Don Anselmo. After this, you are going to be surprised the reply of the old man. Look at how he replied. The old man hung his head for a moment in thought. Then he stood up and stared at me. Friend, he said, I don't like to have you speak to me in that manner. Look at that sentence. I don't like to have you speak to me in that manner. I kept still and let him have his say. I know these Americans are good people, and that is why I have agreed to sell to them. But I do not care to be insulted. I have agreed to sell my house and land for $1,200, and that is the price. Look at this gentleness, generosity, right? Something we say, no, ಹುಚ್ಚಾಟನ ಇದು ಅಂತ ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ಬೋದು, right? Stupidity, right? Sometimes we will say, is this old man a stupid? Let's see. The old man, when the author says they are ready to pay twice the amount, and the amount is here, right? When the author says like this, look at the reply. The old man hung his head, hung, present tense, hung, hanging, right? Here it refers to the author bent his head. He bent his head for a moment. The old man bent his head down for a moment. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೊತ್ತು ತಲೆನ ತೆಗೆಸ್ತಾನೆ ಅಜ್ಜ, in thought, ಯೋಚನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ. Then he stood up. So I hope you know the verb forms, my dear children. Verb forms, right? Stand, stood, okay, is standing, okay, standing, you say, standing, ing, right? Present tense, past tense, past participle, and we can say it as present participle, or we may say ing, right? ing form, right? Present, past participle, present participle, or this one say it as ing form. Okay, these are verb forms. Then the old man stood up. Old man stood up and stared at me. Stare. Look at the word stare. Stare means to look fixedly. To look fixedly. I mean, we can also say it as look angrily, right? Right? Look angrily, fixedly. We can say angrily also. The old man stood up, stared at me like this. He stared at me, looked fixedly at me. Friend, the old man continued his words. Friend, who is the friend here? Friend here refers to author. Who is addressing? The old man is addressing the author as a friend. Friend, he said, I do not like to have you speak to me in that manner. Look at his words. Hello, my dear friend. I do not like to have you to speak me in that manner. ನೀನು ಈ ರೀತಿ ಮಾತನಾಡುವುದು ನನಗೆ ಸರಿ ಅನಿಸ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. I don't like the way you talk to me, speak to me. Right? I don't like the way. I don't like what you spoken to me. So when the old man said these words, the author, what did the author do? I here refers to author. I kept still and let him have his say. The author did not interrupt him. He did not disturb him. He let him to continue his words or continue his saying. Right? Let him to speak. The author didn't disturb him. He continued his words and say, I know. I here refers to the old man. I know these Americans are good people. Hello, my dear author, as you say, Americans are good people. I too know these are good people. And that is why I have agreed to sell to them. As they are good people, I too agree. I too permit myself to sell the land for these people. What is the old man's opinion? The old man is saying that these, as they are good people, ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಜನ ಆಗಿರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಕೂಡ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಮಾರಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಒಪ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋದು. As they are good people, I too permit myself or I too agree to sell my property to the Americans. But I do not care to be insulted. Hello, my friend, I do not care to be insulted. ಈ ರೀತಿ ನಾನು ಅವಮಾನವನ್ನು ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. I didn't expect this kind of insult from you. I know these Americans are good. I too agree to sell my property as they are good. But I never expected this kind of insult from your side. ಈ ಥರ ಅವಮಾನವನ್ನು ನಾನು ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಮಾಡಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. Do you think is it an insult for the old man what the author did? According to us, it's not an insult. But according to Don Anselmo, the gentleman, who is a very generous person, he take it as an insult. I have agreed to sell my house and land for $1,200. Now, if we were in the place of Don Anselmo, we are very eager. We are very happy to receive $2,400. Oh, come on, give me a double. I have a double of land. Yes, please give me double of amount. We are very happy to receive it. But see this man, how this man is. I have agreed to sell my house and land for $1,200, and that's the price. This is the opinion of the Anselmo. What did Anselmo say? Hello, at first I have agreed to sell my land for $1,200. You know, yes, that is the price. That is my price. ಅಷ್ಟೇ ನನಗೆ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ. That is what I want. That means I did not want your $2,400 or the additional amount. He didn't. I argued with him, but it was useless. Finally, he signed the deed and took the money, but refused to take more than the amount agreed upon. Then he shook hands all around, put on his ragged gloves, took his stick, and walked out with the boy behind him. See what happens? The author tried to argue with him. No, Don Anselmo, it is like this. That is like this. He tried to argued with him, but he thought it was useless. Useless means no use. Finally, the old man he was not in a mood, he was not in a situation to ask the words of the author. He did not receive anything, he did not listen anything. Just what did the old man do? Finally, he signed the deed. He signed for the deed and took the money but refused to take more than the amount agreed upon. First of all, in the first at first he agreed to receive only $1,200 for 8 acres. That much of amount only he received and left. ಮೊದಲಿನ ಕರಾರಿನಂತೆ ಏನಾಗಿತ್ತೋ ಅಷ್ಟನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ಇಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. For that only he signed the deed. Then he shook hands all around. He gave shake hand to all of us. Put on his ragged gloves. ಅರ್ಧ ಗ್ಲೌಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಹಾಕೊಳ್ತಾನೆ. Took his stick, right? Took his stick and walked out with the boy behind him. ತನ್ನ ಹಿಂದೆ ತನ್ನ ಹುಡುಗನೊಂದಿಗೆ he went back with the boy behind his stick. He walked out with the boy behind him. ತನ್ನ ಹಿಂದೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ ಹುಡುಗ ಅವನ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಹೊರಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. One thing you should remember, my dear children, even though Don Anselmo owns more than 8 acres of land, the Americans are ready to pay additional amount for the additional land. The old man didn't receive the additional amount for the additional land. He sold all the land and received only $1,200 as per the agreed, right? As he agreed and went out. See, a month later, so the deed was done, right? Americans buy the land, the old man sell the land. A month later, my friends had moved into Rio and Medio. They had replastered the old house, pruned the trees, patched the fence, moved in summer. One day, they came back to the office to complain. The children of the village were overrunning their property. They came every day and played under the trees, built little play fences around them, and took blossoms. When they were spoken to, they only laughed and talked back good naturedly in Spanish. Good naturedly in Spanish. Right? A problem arises here. After selling the land by Don Anselmo, okay, after the deed of after deed, 1 month of the deed, after 1 month of the deed, a month later, my friends, whose friends? The authors, the storyteller, author friends. Who are the friends? The Americans, right? Americans, friends, had moved into Rio and Medio after the deed of 1 month. As they buy the land from an old man, they moved and settled into Rio and Medio. They had replastered the whole house. Yes, if you want to shift it in house, we usually what we are going to do? We have to paint, we have to clean the house and painting, right? And if we need some repair of woodworks, those things we are going to dig. So in the same way, as they are going to shift, before going to shift Rio and Medio, they had replastered the old house. Replastered, right? House, pruned the trees. Prune means to cut off some branches of tree to make it grow better. So as I told you in yesterday's class, they twisted over the orchard was narrowed. Narrowed here means the branches of the trees are not grow in a good way. They looks awkward. They are twisted in loops. Right? Now, for this purpose, what did Americans do? They pruned the trees. They cut off the trees, make it grow better. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಬೆಳೆಯುವಂತೆ ಅದರ ಮರದ ಹರೆಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅವರು? They pruned, cut off the branches of the trees. Pruned the trees, patched the fence. Right? They cleared the fence. Neat fencing. Some patches have been done. They patched. and moved in summer. They shifted in summer. One day they came back to the office. After shifting to Rio and Medio, one day they came to my office with a complaint. The children of what? Do you know what is the complaint? Yes, the complaint is the children of the village. Which was the village here? Rio and Medio. That was a village. The children of the village were overrunning their property. Overrunning here refers to, suppose I buy the land from you. Okay, from any one of your side would come and enjoying my property. Right? That is called overrunning. Here, who were overrunning the property of the Americans? Yes, the children of the village. They would come and they were overrunning the property. This was the complaint bring by the Americans to the author. They came every day. Who came every day? They here refers the children of the village. They came every day and played under the trees. ದಿನ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ, ಮರಗಳ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಆಟ ಆಡ್ತಾರೆ. Built little play fences. ಚಿಕ್ಕದಾಗೆ ಫೆನ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ around them and took blossoms. Okay, they are plucking flowers, they are plucking birds, blossoms. When they were spoken to, when Americans spoken to them, hello, my dear children, don't do these things. What are you doing here? Right? That means, according to the Americans, these boys are overrunning. That means, without the permission of the owner, they came and enjoy here. That is called overrunning. That means, without the permission of the owner, occupying the place. Occupying the place without permission is called as overrunning. Who are overrunning here? The children of the village. When they were spoken, when Americans say something to the boys, the children of the village, they only laughed. What was the reply of the boys? The children of the village, they laughed and talked back good naturedly in Spanish. As Americans said something to the children of the village, what is the reaction of the boys? Just they laughed at them and say good naturedly in Spanish. ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನಿಷ್ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ವಾಸ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್, ದಿಸ್ ವಾಸ್ ದ ಕಂಪ್ಲೇಂಟ್ ಬ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಬೈ ದ ಅಮೇರಿಕನ್ಸ್ ಟು ದ ಆಥರ್. ನೌ what our author has to do? We had worked as a mediator, between the buyers and the sellers. Who was the buyers here? Americans. Who was the seller here? Don Anselmo. Once again, the author has a problem. Again he has to call for Don Anselmo. Again he has to conduct a meeting. Again he has to conduct official discussion to solve the complaint of the Americans. Okay, what happens in the next paragraph we will discuss in the next class. So 8th to 12th paragraphs are there. 4 small paragraphs are there. So the remaining part of the 4 paragraphs of the lesson will complete in the next class. Okay, till then, take care, keep learning, stay home, stay safe. Thank you.